just lost the cup and you win it. The new European champions, the treble, the dream come true for you.
Oh, I can't believe that. I can't believe that. Oh, by the hell.
Hello guys, hope you're okay. We're back with another Premier League game week review today. And with RJ, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Good. I'm great, thank you. I'm really good. Except for United, obviously, which we're both not doing great with.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's talk about United. The better at the moment.
Yeah, that's it.
And we're just going to be back with another Premier League game week review, and there has been some very exciting games this weekend. I would say Premier League at its finest, basically all weekend. And we'll start off with the Crystal Palace 2, West Ham 3. And Michail Antonio, again, showing exactly why, for me, he's one of the most underrated players in the league and one of the most hard-working players in the league. And I always have this debate with people, and I know you have this debate, a similar debate quite a lot, in would you take, for example, Michail Antonio over Anthony Martial? And for me, I would, because he's more hardworking. I want to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, I think I do agree with that he's more hardworking. I think anyone is more hardworking at this rate. But the thing about Michail Antonio you have to understand is he's very injury prone. We already have too many players that are injury prone in the squad. Eric Bailly, Paul Pogba's got his injuries list recently, so you know it's yeah, probably he wouldn't be my first choice, but he is definitely an improvement from Anthony Martial.
Yeah, 100%. I think that West Ham have had a very good season so far. I think they had a blip a few weeks ago where they went on not a great run, but I think they've had a very good season so far. Do you think they're more favourites for top four than we are at this point? I think they are.
Maybe. The thing about you have to understand is they're in European football. They're playing Europa League, and that will have a toll at them. Maybe by March, they'll definitely fall off. Every team that went through the Europa League has done that. Look at Leicester last season. I mean, they fell off because they didn't have enough squad depth to essentially mix out the Premier League, the FA Cup, the Europa League. You know what I mean? They had loads of competitions that they put themselves into. And the same scenario for West Ham, so I don't think they'll get top four. But maybe if they keep the 5th, 6th spot, they'll get a lot of money. They'll invest into the squad, have another go at the Europa League, or even win the Europa League. So yeah, keep going with them, and that's they're doing good things.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I've been speaking about this over the past month or so. I think the rebuild of West Ham is if you're looking at it from just a pure football point of view and not like a jealousy point of view, it's been a great thing to see in a way. Yeah. And for example, when Jesse Lingard was there last season, I was sort of smiling, sort of cheering him on, sort of celebrating even when he scored, because again, I like Jesse Lingard as a player, and I love to see him doing well. Do you think that it would be better if he goes there rather than Newcastle, or maybe even to an Italian club where he's been linked with?
Yeah, almost definitely. I mean, Jesse Lingard is a talent, whether people want to admit it or not. I mean, I've seen it. You know, I mean, remember the season where, God forbid, he did the Millie Rock and Arsenal fans. God forbid, they couldn't sleep for about 10 nights. But no, to be fair, he's a good talent, and I did say he would do well when he went to West Ham. I was definitely someone who backed him. When he scored, I was obviously celebrating, but yeah, I think his United time has to be over, to be fair. Bruno definitely goes over ahead of him, sadly. Obviously, I do want him to do well, so I think best option is to move him on. Say, look, thank you so much for what you've done for this club. And you will definitely be recognised by the fans as a fan favourite. So.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think although he is a good player, and again, like we're saying, we both back him. I've backed him for quite a while now, and I think he could do some things for us as a squad player. I think Bruno, like you say, just gets over him 9 times out of 10 in most games. And even though Bruno's not been on the greatest of form, which we will get into, I think he still gets over him. Now, we'll just get into the few comments that have been topless. Baz says, I hope you're all right, Baz. Well done with the posters that you've just released. Check out Posters by Baz on Twitter for anyone that's in here. He just released football posters. He's doing well with that. Mass Football fan says Antonio went from right back to right wing to a Premier League proven striker. That is absolutely unbelievable, to be fair. And it's a great thing. It's similar to like Bale going from left back to right wing.
And then becoming one of the best players in the world.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Imani says, "Yo, I hope you're all right, mate." Gavin says, "Hi, both. Hope all is good. Happy New Year. Happy New Year." I was just speaking to you in DMs. Hope all improves with you, Gavin. Again, I was just speaking to you in DMs, so I hope all improves. Happy New Year, mate. I want to ask you about Crystal Palace now. I've been asking a lot of people about this. Now, I'm not sure whether they can push for 10th, for example, like mid-table, or push for Europa Conference League. Now, I think they've got a very good squad. I think Odsonne Edouard is a great buy. Eze, when he returns from injury, Michael Elise and Zaha as well, and Conor Gallagher. Do you think Patrick Vieira can sort of push him to Europa Conference League, or do you think 10th is around about their spot?
Well, judging how I predicted them to be relegated this season, they've done very well. Judging how I kind of predicted, I did it before all these signings, so I think I kind of made a mistake there. But not anything is possible. It's the Premier League. I mean, God forbid, Man City won a Premier League title, so anything's possible at this rate. If you put your money and mine into it. No, genuine. I think they do have a chance. They do have some good players, some young attacking potential great players. Like I said, Edouard, Elise, Eze when he comes back, Zaha when he doesn't get a red card. Like I said, it's a good squad. There's a good squad depth as well. Like I said, Hughes on the bench, obviously he can make an impact. Like I said, came from Watford. Obviously, the cycling GK begged him to stay, and that didn't work. So. Yeah, no, they do have a good potential, and I do think, they could definitely try and contend with it, but I'd say anything around 10th is good, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. I think they're very entertaining to watch as well, and there's a lot of debate on Sky Sports, so I'm not sure whether you've heard of Saturday Social.
Yeah, of course I do,
yeah.
Watch it every day. It's great. It's great.
Oh, yeah, every week I watch it with my uncle, and I think there was a debate on last week, just gone, this Saturday just gone, whether Conor Gallagher will stay at Crystal Palace or whether we will get into Chelsea's midfield. Now, I think he is good enough to get into Chelsea's midfield. He's better than the likes of Ross Barkley. I would argue he's better than Kovacic. I would argue he's even as good as Mount, maybe. Now, I still don't think he will get into Chelsea's midfield. What's your thoughts on Conor Gallagher? Do you think he should try and get into Chelsea's midfield or go back to Palace on loan or hope that they buy him?
You do have to realise, he's 22 years old. I don't think he's going to be staying at Palace, no offence to lad, or the club, to be fair. Look, he wants to go back to Chelsea. It's the same scenario as Billy Gilmore. Those two will want to get back into that squad, be regular starters, show that what they mean to the club. Because let's be real, the team is aging. That midfield trio of Kante, Kovacic, and Jorginho is getting older, so they definitely need to youth, bring some youth into it. I do think, I do think he has a lot of potential, but probably not yet. I think he might need to get used to that Chelsea form because Vieira and Tuchel are two different managers. I know, tactically they're very good, but they're different completely because obviously Tuchel plays with 3-back and Vieira doesn't. So it's going to be interesting, to be fair. But like I said, high hopes for the lad. Hope he does well.
Yeah, 100%. I remember spotting him. I will always go on about it. I remember spotting him at West Brom, and obviously the games were behind closed doors last season, so I watched most Premier League games, as I know you have done, because we spoke about that on Let's Talk Premier League. And I remember saying to my uncle, he's a good player, and I think he's a sort of diamond in the rough at West Brom there. And my uncle sort of kept doubting me. And I kept saying it. And obviously it's come to fruition, the sort of how good he really is. And he seems to be a great player. He seems to be basically the star on the pitch every single game that he plays. But we'll go on to Watford versus Tottenham now, one of the more boring games of the weekend. I had this on and I was on my phone basically the whole time. But got told off for hogging the TV downstairs as I had it on. But yeah, it's what you expect from Antonio Conte, isn't it? Just a professional sort of win, but a win grinded out right at the end by Davinson Sanchez header. What do you make of it?
Yeah. If there was any game to represent how Conte plays, that is exactly it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad for Watford. I mean, they were so unlucky. Obviously, Emmanuel Dennis coming off in the first half was a big blow to them. Obviously, to the person who had a bit of problems in the crowd, hopefully they were okay.
Oh yeah. Of course.
And that was kind of the reason why he had like 10 extra minutes into the game. But no, genuinely hope he's okay. And yeah, Davidson, I don't know what the keeper was doing. He must have fell or something like that. But yeah, definitely bad. It was good. Look, good header by Davidson Sanchez, and yeah, 3 wins, a win for Spurs, good for them, but not for us. So
Oh no, definitely not good for us at all.
Yeah.
Another team winning, which isn't great for us, is City.
Yeah.
Now, what a game this was! What a game! My thoughts on Arsenal are Arteta's got them playing very well. This is just in short, and we'll discuss it more in a second.
Mhm.
But the lack of discipline and lack of consistency from some players is what will let them down ultimately in the end. Just if you look at Gabriel, for example, getting that red card, that is a complete and utter lack of discipline. Sometimes Xhaka has a lack of discipline. And sometimes you can say, oh, he's got like balls of steel sort of thing. That's a good thing, which we need some of, but it's
hard to find
again.
these days.
Yeah, again, you're completely right there. Now, Saka, I've got someone who watches me. I'm not sure whether he's watching right now, and he always doubts Saka. I've spoken to him loads of times about Saka, and he's always saying Saka's one of the most overrated players currently. And I completely disagree with this. I completely think he's like such a star player, such an important player for Arsenal, such an important player for England. Even though he didn't play much in the Euros, such an important player, I would argue. And since that penalty miss, he's really pushed on. He really has seemed to push on. Now, do you think he could go to a bigger team, or do you think Arsenal is the exact right team for him?
That's a good question. Very good question.
Yeah.
For me, I do rate Saka. I do think what he's done with Arsenal has been phenomenal. Obviously, I do think. Look, he carried them last season. Anyone who says he didn't are liars, man. He carried that team last year on his back. God forbid, I felt bad for the kid, but he did well. You know what I mean? Obviously, Arsenal finished 8th, but that wasn't his problem. He's part of a team with shit players, and a manager didn't know how to work them. But look, I think, could he go to a bigger side? I mean, if Bayern Munich come calling for him, I think surely he says, yeah, go on, let's go to Germany or something like that. Surely.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd say right now, Arsenal's a great fit for him. Look, he's passionate about the club, which is something that, is something
Hard to
important.
find.
Exactly, yeah. You have players like Martinelli, Ramsdale, Tierney, Tomiyasu, who are also just as passionate to play for Arsenal, which is very good, to be fair. You have Mikel Arteta, who essentially is helping the lad grow as a footballer and a player and as a human, I'm assuming. I do think it's going well for him, and I do think if he stays, I think he could definitely be an Arsenal legend, probably in the future.
I would agree with you there. I would actually agree with you. We'll get into the 3 comments that we just received. Let's Talk Premier League says, big up winners. Hi, Niall. I hope you're all right. Let's check out Let's Talk Premier League if you're in here currently. I've featured on the channel twice. He's a great lad. He's a top lad. So versatile. Saka, yeah, he completely is.
True.
Ethan says, thoughts on Met's testicles yesterday, Kian, mate. 1 good game in 20 every season, yet he still starts. What is your thoughts on McTominay before we actually speak about United?
Yeah, he definitely had a stinker last night, didn't he?
Yeah.
To be fair, look, he's got a lot of potential. He is 24. He does show some leadership things. Obviously, he is passionate about the club, which is something we don't have in this club, clearly, by some people. But no, right now he should not be starting for Man United. If we want to actually, essentially get back up to the top, McTominay cannot be starting, or Matic, or any half those players should not be playing. So, yeah, that's just how it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. Tomiyasu has been very good signing for Arsenal. Yeah, he's a beast.
I think the most underrated signing this summer.
Possibly, yeah. Was he signed for? Was it 13 million?
It was 13 million last minute deal because Bellerin was going to Real Betis. So and no one really heard about this, to be fair, until last minute. So very good deal.
Yeah, very good. Arteta won the Ollie, Lampard and Arteta debate. I still think Ollie won that debate. Arteta hasn't finished second in the Premier League.
Exactly. Yeah, unless
with a
Arteta
shit
wins.
squad as well.
Oh, don't get me started about that squad, man. I still have nightmares about that squad.
Yeah, it's awful. Big up the Scottish Pearl, Niall says.
I'm Irish.
Oh, McTominay's 25. Wolves
Same
goalkeeper is another underrated signing. Yeah, Sky Sports were debating whether he could become the best goalkeeper in the league on Saturday Social. I thought that was a bit far-fetched, but yeah, it's been a good signing, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a good, to be fair.
Yeah. Now, again, back to the Arsenal City game.
Yep.
Now, Rodri showing just how important a good CDM is, and I don't really want to compare us to Manchester City or to Liverpool or to any other rival team for that matter. I hate doing it because I hate going, oh, look at them. They're sort of the groundwork for what we should be building to. But he is really good, and he has been really good this season. Do you think this is City's title to lose?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think, obviously, we'll talk about the Chelsea-Liverpool game, but, I mean, they kind of shot each other in the foot with this one, to be fair.
Yeah.
Now, this is the point where City just go light years ahead of everyone, like they did last season. Yeah, no catching them. Not a chance.
I still don't believe they'll win the Champions League.
And look, Rodri has been a great player for them, good loyal soldier for them for the last few years, to be fair. You know, the great performances, hasn't really let them down. Yeah, definitely a good player, but I think the celebration was a bit overrated. To be fair.
Yeah. It was very
You're
arrogant.
not winning the UCL, mate. You know,
No.
You had that chance. You had that chance last. Yeah, you had that chance last May, but you didn't take it. So, like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, Rodri has just, I'm not sure whether you know this, but he only lives in a 1-bedroom flat. I've read about this several times, and he only drives a very basic car, and he studies as well. He's studying something at university or doing something similar to that. Now, as an actual player, he seems very concentrated on his football and not the star lifestyle, which I think I would argue some United players do have, that the sort of want and need to be a superstar, a superstar
I can barely
person.
hear you, mate. Barely hear you.
Oh, you can barely hear me. Is it cutting out? Sorry if there's any technical issues there. Is there a delay? Hold on. Yeah, his connection's gone. Well, let me remove him, and I'll try to add him back. Hold on. I'll get into the few questions, and I'll message him in a second. It's actually mad. I criticised Ollie a lot, but came second with these players. Yeah, I'll resend him the link. Just give me a second. Connection issues are a regular occurrence on this channel as well as yours, Niall. Don't worry about that. Rodri is class, man. Love him as a person. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, there we go.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, it's no problem. Could you hear me about what I was saying about Rodri?
I could barely hear you. No, you're lagging.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So.
Oh no, it's not your fault. It happens a lot on this channel.
Worry, yeah.
So I'm not sure whether you know. I've read about this several times. Rodri lives in a 1-bedroom flat, and he studies and he reads, and he only drives a basic car. And there's not that want and need for a superstar lifestyle, which I feel like a lot of our definitely a few of our players certainly have. I can give an example of Pogba. I can give an example of Martial. I can give an example even currently Greenwood. Obviously Ronaldo's already probably world's biggest superstar in history, probably up there with like Michael Jackson sort of levels. And I feel like I prefer the sort of player that doesn't have that superstar lifestyle. Do you agree? He seems very concentrated.
Yeah, definitely. I mean that's what you see in that City squad. I mean, most of them ain't really superstars when you really look at it, to be fair. Most of them are just average men who love to play a bit of football and they work hard. Simple as that. That's how it is. And that's the problem we have at United. We have a lot more problems, but that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, I agree with you. Niall says, is Fred and McTominay a better centre mid pairing than Keane and Scholes? Currently, no. Keane and Scholes will probably do better currently. It's like, is it done already? Martial don't want those. I feel like he does because of the way him and his wife sort of act on social media without being horrible. They seem sort of very sort of wanting them followers sort of thing. Do you agree with that?
I have no I don't really follow Martial or anything he does. I just
Okay.
personally, I have no comment on that.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Right, we'll get into the Brentford Aston Villa game now. What a comeback for Brentford, and thank you that Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa have finally lost another game closer to when we're playing them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Brentford are a team who have had sort of a real blip in the Premier League where they go 5 or 6 games with losing on the roll. But I feel like from day one, a lot of people sort of liked them when they beat Arsenal 2-0. That was the same day I did the Fabrizio Romano interview on this channel, I remember. Just to let you guys know, cheeky little plug here, while I interrupt myself, the Fabrizio Romano video will be up next week, Thursday, around 3 p.m. So just to let you guys know and to let you know, RJ, so hopefully you'll watch that one for me. But Brentford, they play very well, don't they? They play a very sort of positive way of football, positive way of thinking, like in terms of football. Now with Aston Villa, I feel like they play the same. If I'm going to be honest, it was a good game to watch. I feel like it was featured some good players. That Danny Ings goal was good. The Vissa goal was a very good goal, and then the Rowislev goal was very well worked team goal. What did you make of this game?
Yeah, definitely a great game between two great teams who wanted to win. Simple as that, and that's all you can ask for really for a great game. Yeah. I thought Villa were going to win it in the end, but Brentford came back and won it, and that's what you love about football. That the mystery of who's actually going to win. That's what intrigues fans and gets people interested, which is obviously what the Premier League has done for many years. So. Yeah, I do think it was a great game. I do think watching on what you call this? I can't even remember the TV show. What's Match of the Day? That's it. Yeah, watching on Match of the Day. Very good show to watch.
Yeah,
and like I said, great performance by the lads. To be fair.
Yeah, 100%. Now we'll get into Everton versus Brighton. Now I'm not sure if you know RJ. One of the managers that I want in the future is Graham Potter at United. I really like Graham Potter. Now I'm sure you know that I love Tariq Lamptey as a player.
That's it.
And I like Tariq Lamptey is probably one of my dream signings.
Sorry.
Someone's trying to be United Trey in my chat, pretending to be United Trey. But with Brighton, I feel like although they haven't had many wins and they look like they are currently in a relegation scrap, even though they started very well, they sort of seem to be on good form and playing very well from when I've watched them. Not good form in terms of results, but playing well. Now, do you think they can stay up? And also, do you think Graham Potter is destined for a bigger club?
To answer that first question, I think they should be able to stay up. I mean, it would be Liverpool's probably the greatest day they'll ever have if Everton get relegated. Let's be real. But no, yeah, like I said, I do think they'll stay up. As for the Brighton manager Potter, I'd say he definitely has a lot more opportunity when it comes to probably the England job once Southgate leaves. I'd say that's probably his best bet of getting a good job. I'd say. Wouldn't say a big team like United or anything like that. Not a chance. I wouldn't say anything up there. But I think if he moves from Brighton to the England job, I think that'd be a good job for him. To be fair.
Yeah. I personally, I would sort of disagree with you there. I really want Potter. I would argue that I want Potter at United after Ranić's temporary reign in May when it ends. So for next season, I would prefer Eric Ten Hag, but I would prefer Graham Potter over Maurizio Pochettino 100%. What is your thoughts on that?
I'm thinking more Ten Hag though.
Yeah. I would completely prefer Eric Ten Hag than any other any other sort of manager.
No.
Now Leeds 3, Burnley 1, and Daniel James scored in the last minute. Everything went wrong when we sold Daniel James. I always say this. He was a player that showed his all for the badge, but in all seriousness, I hope Leeds get relegated, but it doesn't seem like they're going to. It seems like they're going to pick up some form, doesn't it? Yeah,
I mean, Bielsa ball is here to stay, isn't it? No, I mean, look, I think we shouldn't have sold Dan James. I was a big fan of him. I actually thought that he could have done well with Ronaldo, just with the fact that how he is. But I think, yeah, no one wanted to buy Martial. No surprises there. So we had to get rid of someone because of the wages and all that crack and money and all that. Even though we're one of the biggest clubs in the world, but yeah, no, Dan James for me, brought in 2019 with was it? It was Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, right?
Yeah. It was Maguire, Wan-Bissaka. I think that was it.
Yeah, that was the promising times. Yeah.
Yeah.
One sec.
Okay. He's just had to mute there, but again, Leeds 3, Burnley 1. It seems that it's going to be the final season that Burnley stay in the Premier League for a while. Tarkowski's contract ends this summer as well, so it's not looking great for Burnley. Dan James was the glue. Yep. I've not got an anti-Martial agenda, Shaq. I really not. I just don't rate him at all. Whoever's pretending to be United Trey, tell me who it actually is, whoever you are. But yeah, do you think it's going to be finally the season that Burnley get relegated?
I don't see that happen. No, they'll find a way. They'll definitely find a way.
I think they're going to get relegated, personally.
Sean Dyche has been here for 10 years. Not a chance. Not a chance is he going to get relegated. Not a chance.
It'd be great if they don't get relegated for Burnley, obviously, and it'll be like one of the best managerial achievements from an English manager in a while, not including Southgate getting to the final. Because just like Wayne Rooney at Derby. No, it's fine. Yeah. Just like Wayne Rooney at Derby, they're both on like a sort of shoestring budget with not much money and with financial issues at the club.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to stay up last season, the season before that, and the season before that with spending, I think the net spend was £500,000. If I'm wrong, correct me in the chat, but I think it was somewhere around £500,000. To stay up with that net spend is an absolutely unbelievable achievement. Do you agree that Sean Dyche is one of the most underrated players and underrated managers in the league?
I would say yeah, but I mean his tactics are just brutal, to be fair.
Oh, yeah.
They're known as Brexit FC for a reason, to be fair, but I think they're going in the right direction. I mean, when they signed Cornet this summer, I think it was one of the best signings they've ever made in their history.
You wouldn't expect it, would you?
Because no one expected that to do well. No, not a chance, especially someone who's not English to go to Burnley, God forbid. But no, look, he's done a very good job. I think they're going in the right direction. I do think they'll stay up. They'll probably sign another great defender or attacker, and they'll get them goals. So yeah, and plus, like I said, it's Burnley. They can easily cause an upset a bit against a big team. They've done it in the past, and they'll probably do it this season, I'd say.
Yeah, probably as well. And great. Chris Wood always seems to come out with 10+ goals each season. Somehow it feels like he never scores, but he always seems to come out with double digits every single season. Yeah. Now, there's a question here. How can you not rate Martial but rate Rashford and talk about things on the pitch, not outside football? I'm going to give my answer and then I'll ask you about it, RJ. Now, for me, Marcus Rashford, as he's a homegrown player that is from the academy product, an academy product. So there's a stat for Man United that every single game for 86 years currently that we're holding the record for, we have had an academy product in the starting 11 and on the bench each game, every single game. So that's number one. And number two, he has scored 20+ goals for 2 seasons on the run, last season and the season before, with injuries as well. So for me, that's a huge achievement. And number three, again, I have to bring up things outside of the pitch. Not even just outside of the pitch. He does support Man United. He does care about Man United. He does want to be here, it seems to me. Maybe not at the moment. Maybe he's still not match fit at the moment. We don't know. But it doesn't seem like he's going to get 20+ goals this season. But I still really rate him over Martial. Martial, to me, hasn't proved as a footballer that he's better than Rashford. Now, I'm going to give an example of Lukaku in this debate. Lukaku, for me, was a player who didn't fit United at all. And when I say didn't fit United, I mean Premier League nowadays isn't just purely about scoring goals. It's about playing in the game. It's about sort of playing as a team. just like Cavani does, for example. Cavani's moving all the time, helping his teammates, and Lukaku didn't do that. I feel Martial does that, but I feel Rashford does that, but Martial doesn't do that. That's another reason why I rate Rashford over Martial. Can I get your thoughts on that comment and on sort of my arguments as well, RJ?
Yeah, I personally think that, look, I really don't judge a player from off the pitch. I just judge on their on-pitch performances. And I think Martial, his tendencies are competition, which something that we can't have at this club, to be fair. Look, he's done well in the past. Yeah, he had that great season where I think he got over 25 goals in the season or something like that. But that's when he wasn't challenged, right? And we need to have people stepping up, people challenging others. Like I said, look at Sean Tellez, right? If Tellez didn't come to us about 2 seasons ago or last season, whatever it was, Shaw would never have been that good left back that we always wanted him to be. He was great on form, but like I said, it's it would never have happened if Tellez, because there was no competition. No offense to Brandon Williams, just didn't give enough competition to Luke Shaw, and that's what we need from other players as well. It's all about competition. That's why City are run away with the league. Look at the competition they have for places. I mean, no one knows who's going to start every single week.
That £100 million man doesn't
who's
even
the hardest
start.
working, who's the one that's most passionate. I mean, I don't want to talk about him just because for certain reasons, but like I said, no, but for Martial, look, judging on how he plays, like, he doesn't run, he barely jogs, he doesn't care about the game, he always has a sulk on his face. He's getting paid more than half our team. Yes, he still doesn't think that he deserves to be here. Like, look, I think we should get rid of him, personally, but I think it'd be very interesting to see what club is actually willing to pay for him.
Yeah,
which I don't know which one does.
Yeah, maybe he'll go back to a team in the league. Maybe, I think he's been linked with going on loan to Sevilla. Now, maybe he will suit there. Maybe he won't.
I know Sevilla turned that down. Yeah.
Oh, did they? Yeah,
I
hadn't seen that.
Yeah, because of wages. Yeah, because what happened was they weren't accepting his wages. They could only pay half his wages, so they were like, "Yeah, we can't accept it."
Yeah, he's on £250,000 a week, isn't he?
Yeah,
unbelievable. Just remember, we only play good football on the high with Martial and
that
squad.
is monumental money.
Funnily enough, I have had a thought about Martial. Someone basically said, why not try him at the moment, because we've got nothing to lose, in the sense of we're playing terrible football with or without every player at the moment. So why not try him? Why not throw him back in when is he fit currently? I don't even know if he's fit. Niall says Niall says, did I just hear Brandon Williams slander? do you not normally slander Brandon Williams? No.
Calm down. Calm down now, will you tell? Stop being biased towards your English fellow people.
So we'll go into the Chelsea 2, Liverpool 2 game. Now, what a game. This was prime Barclays. It was genuinely a great game. Now, you've got Mane coming up with a first goal in the 9th minute, and there you're thinking, oh no, this is going to be a battering from Liverpool, especially when Salah scored in the 26th minute. Now, as much as I'm not going to say anything about him being the best player in the world, I'm sure you've seen my comments. I will not say anything like that about a rival player. I'm just not like that. I just can't bring myself to say anything like that. But he probably did deserve to win the Ballon d'Or, didn't he?
Well, this year?
Salah, just gone, the Ballon d'Or just gone.
Nah, no, not a chance. No, Lewandowski deserved that, man.
Lewandowski, okay, yeah. I can see that.
Messi, definitely no. Not a chance.
There's just some breaking news here I've just read as well. I'm not sure whether you've just read it. Liverpool fear they will be unable to play Thursday night's Carabao Cup semi-final first leg against Arsenal due to a COVID outbreak in their squad. So hope they all get better, etc. I've just had that notification there. Again, it's not confirmed. It's just a fear at the moment. But both of these teams are gonna slip up during African Cup of Nations and during just this period in general. And then you've got the busy period where all the games that got postponed are going to be played as well. It's definitely City's title to lose, isn't it? And it would have to be a miracle for City to lose the title. what issues do you think Liverpool have got in sort of the squad for them not to win the title?
I mean, realistically, when you look at the African Cup of Nations, Salah, Mane, Keita are gone. Simple as that. For Chelsea, I mean, you look at them. Like I said, they lose Edouard Mendy. So, I love Kepa. I think he's an all right lad, but Mendy was definitely better than him in all aspects. But I think for Liverpool, when you look at that team, the first thing that screams at you is squad depth. They don't have that squad depth. I mean, they'll have to play Minamino on the right, probably Firmino on the centre, and then Jota on the left, which is not going to be good for them because, quite frankly, they're not going to be scoring goals. They'll need to find a way to score goals because, yeah, Jota was great this season, right? But let's be real. You look at when he was in the Euros. It's horrendous.
Not great at all.
So I don't think. I think Liverpool will struggle. Definitely struggle.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. I also think that I think they'll struggle in midfield as well. They've struggled in midfield the past few sort of games. I feel like Jordan Henderson is one of the most overrated players currently in the world. I've said this for years now. I feel like he's very, very overrated. I'm going to say it. I genuinely believe Scott McTominay, talent-wise, is better than Jordan Henderson. I don't know whether many people will agree with me. Do you not agree with me there? No.
Not right now. No, not a chance. I think
Okay.
what Jordan Henderson does for Liverpool is definitely something that goes under the radar. It's the reason why Trent is actually really good these days, because what Jordan Henderson does is essentially when Trent goes up, he fills out that right back position, so that they don't kind of break on the counter attack. But look, Trent needs to work on his defensive skills, honestly, if Liverpool do want to get better, obviously. So
yeah, I agree with that. Brandon is the greatest wing back ever. you love Brandon Williams, don't you, Niall? Salah isn't the best in the world, though. Yeah, I agree with that. You know, I love any slander against any Liverpool players. You know me, I'm Arnie. We'll go on to our game though, and
why do we have to?
I know, yeah, it's awful. It was absolutely dreadful. The most frustrating thing for me is the amount of times we lose possession. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. And I know you retweeted, I retweeted the picture from United Report with Phil Jones with the body language where he was the only one who looked like he cared. And I know you retweeted my retweet, if that makes sense, because I got the notification.
Oh, yeah.
Now, do you think he is the only one that currently, and I know it's his first game back in 707 days, but do you think he was the only one last night that genuinely cared, genuinely showed passion?
I think De Gea definitely showed passion. I think we have to keep putting his name out there. Like he said, he does love this club. Anyone else? So I don't know. Probably Greenwood maybe when he was on. He definitely had some chances.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. Phil Jones was the man of the match in my opinion last night. God forbid, what would if Maguire was there, man? That was going to be a 5-0 thrashing. We wouldn't have survived. And I think that's something good about Phil Jones. To be fair, people have written him off so much, and he last night was just a big fu to those people. To be fair, so very happy for Phil Jones.
It's great to
obviously,
see.
like I said, same amount of Premier Leagues as Liverpool, so I mean, fair play to him. So exactly, of course, it's great to see, and like I said, hopefully he can definitely put himself back into the team sheet, and like I said, maybe he might teach some lads, look, this is how you actually properly play for this club. You do not, you're paid this amount of money. Put in the effort, okay? Simple as that. I think Ronaldo was poor last night. I think we only looked good after the second half, really, to be fair, when Bruno came on. Really, honestly, I think Bruno last night actually was good, but he missed that. Oh man, he missed that shot where it hit the post, and I swear I was just that would have been it, to be fair. But
I think serious questions. If I'm going to talk about Bruno and if this system, this 4-2-2-2 system / 4-4-2 system doesn't get changed, I think serious questions need to be asked as to whether Bruno Fernandes fits this system. I love Bruno Fernandes as a player, and I love him as sort of as he loves the club as well, and the passion that he normally shows. But the system hasn't seemed to fit him. Although we played better last night when he came on, he still lost possession loads of times. Now I know everyone else around him is doing that. Like if someone says Rashford was terrible, for example, I'll say everyone around him was terrible as well as Rashford. You can't just say it's Rashford. But I do think serious questions have to be asked as to whether Bruno does fit this system. Now I know we've only got 6 months, well, around 5-6 months till Rangnick goes, but something has to change. Do you think we need a midfielder? Do you think we need to start playing Donny van de Beek more? Because Rangnick has said exactly the same thing as Solskjaer said, that Donny van de Beek needs to work harder. And I know a lot of people back Donny van de Beek, but for me, he's not taken his chances when he's played. He's been very average for United. I would argue maybe McTominay has too, maybe Fred has too, but maybe I'm not sure we can take that risk in playing a more attacking minded player in when he's very average. We will struggle to score goals. You look at when we played Andreas Pereira and we struggled to score goals, and I'm not saying he's anywhere near as bad as that, but I'm just giving an example. What's your thoughts on Donny van de Beek?
Look, the kid does work hard. I don't know what all-in thing we're talking about. I mean, funnily enough, it was the goal from Donny van de Beek that got rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So, I mean, the irony was there. But look, I do think... I don't understand how this team works, because Matic gets in week out right around these days, but the 4-2-2 does not work. I've said this on Twitter, I've said this wherever I go. It does not work for this club. And it never will work for this club. We don't have the players for it, we don't have the mentality for it, and we don't have the system for it. So, and the club isn't really based on it either. So that's one thing I was kind of questioned about. Plus, you know, like I do like Rangnick. I do think what he's going to do in the future is going to be beneficial for us. But for right now, I don't think it's going to suit us just because of the players that we have. We need to get a few players in January. We need a lot of players in January, but we only get a few. We definitely need to improve and restock and sell some players. Definitely,
I agree with you there. That game was so shit. We gave the ball away, and then they gave it back to us, and we gave it right back. Exactly. I want to sort of get your opinion on this, because every single game we seem to be watching, and I keep saying why, what is it with you? Why do you keep giving the ball away? What's up with you? Do you know what I mean? But I think also an issue with this is the players aren't moving. Like I can give an example many times a day. Last night, people are saying his distribution's terrible. His distribution isn't Edison levels, is it? But it's not absolutely terrible. But the players aren't moving for him. No one's moving for each other. Against, who was it we played last week? Was it Burnley we played last week? And it was pass and move, and it was very clear that it was pass and move. Yesterday, it was no one's moving. Everyone's static. Everyone's sort of still. And we're just sort of there left thinking, this is why we give the ball away. But also, what do you do in training? Do you think there's massive issues for giving the ball away, leading back from basically Ollie's reign last season? Because I remember saying it a lot last season. Or do you think it's just these players aren't good enough? Do you think it's coaching all the players?
I mean, I think, let's be real, I think the players aren't good enough to... like the fact they're playing for United is probably... They should really thank their agents for that, in my opinion. Some of them definitely need to thank them a lot more than what they already do. No, they need to go. Like I said, we need transfers in to make this team better. Obviously, I think what people understand is that he got this team to second, third, and fourth in 3 years, right? And Rangnick probably is going to struggle for fourth place with this team, even with Ronaldo added, even with Sancho, even with Varane. Do you know what I mean? That's why I don't understand. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm more of a fan who puts the club ahead of players instead of players' agendas against the club. So I do think I probably see things clearer than other fans, but realistically, I do think the players need a bit of a wake-up call saying, look, you can't keep doing this. To be fair, you can't keep playing bad. I mean, look, I tweeted literally that last week it was so boring that I nearly fell asleep, and this was exact same this week. Like I was so like there's no creativity with this 4-2-2-2, because when you looked at Leipzig, right, with Rangnick, the players were always moving, they were creative, and they were always doing stuff. You don't expect Matic, McTominay, Greenwood, Sancho, and Ronaldo and Cavani to be running in between each other and interlocking play and all that crack. You don't expect that because they won't do it. They won't do it. So, yeah, like I said, it was a big L for Ragnick last night. He needs to learn, not to play these players.
No, I agree. I agree with you. The mass football fan says the players need to be less selfish. Sancho and Cavani both had chances to square it, but they shot and missed. You can understand why they're selfish, though.
There's a difference between selfishness and taking a chance, because let's be real, if we don't take our chances, there's no point fucking playing, to be fair. I do think they had chances to pass to other people, but I do think when you're in that zone and you have a chance at goal, you're told to shoot. You're not told to pass it off to someone else. Take a shot. If it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I think, I remember there was a first half moment. Sancho could have laid off to Ronaldo. It would have been a very good pass as well, but he didn't. He tried to take on the shot. So look, maybe we could have won. Maybe we couldn't have. But you have to take your chances. Simple as that. There's sometimes there's selfishness. Sometimes they just take the chance and go. So I don't agree with that.
Okay. Pineapple says hi. Hope you're all right, Pineapple. Imani says Donny's so professional. Only thing I heard Ralph and Ollie say was that he works hard in the training ground. He needs to leave ASAP. Do you think he'll leave this month? There's been talk that his agents blocking it and things like that.
Yeah, I've been told that he wants to leave, but there's no chance. Ragnick is not letting him leave. I feel bad for the lad. He's been in jail for the last 3 years at this club, or 2 years. It's definitely not been a fun time, and I feel bad for him. I think the whole fan base wants him to do well, whether it's at United or a different club anymore. So I think, look, it's sad to see, but hopefully he gets a game time sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I agree. Gavin says, I've seen fans calling out De Gea and Ronaldo's problems. They've kept us relevant this season. It's the system and the midfield. We just aren't getting enough service to our strikers. I would agree and disagree with that personally. I want to give my opinion, because Cavani, I remember watching him against Burnley, and I was watching him closely. Obviously, I was at Old Trafford, and I remember him watching him closely for that, and he never stops moving, and it's something I really appreciate. And it's not just moving like a headless chicken; he's moving intelligently into space, etc. And you see, last season he got goals. Do you know what I mean? Loads of, I can give an example of the one against Spurs when Greenwood put in that perfect ball, but Cavani also had to move for it. Now I know Ronaldo isn't going to do that at age 36, especially when he was at his prime for the longest that anyone's ever been at the prime at. For what's your thoughts on this comment?
Yeah, I 100% disagree. I think if it wasn't for those two lads, God forbid, we'd be fighting mid-table battles. I don't. Like I said, I think when people say that it's Ronaldo's and De Gea's fault that we're doing bad, I think it's just biased towards other players. I think you look at Maguire, who God forbid should never be playing for us again. You look at players like Wan-Bissaka, Fred. I was going to say Fred, but Matic. Martial, players who don't really give a shit about this club to the degree where they're working harder than their opponents. That's what I mean. I do think, genuinely, like I said, we do need to bring in more signings, players who actually care. Alvarez from South America, I think, would be a good signing, possibly. Maybe he might change things up. Who else? I think, what's his name? I've been banging on about him for a long time. Oh, that Leipzig player. Oh, what's his name?
Haidara?
The CDM. Haidara, that's it. Yeah, I wanted him to join as well. Maybe Mukulele on the right-hand side. Maybe another centre-back. Maybe Sven Botman from Lille would be a good one, to be fair. Like I said, it's an interesting one, but I think that Ronaldo and De Gea have been the only two players that have stepped up for this club.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially De Gea after last night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, De Gea definitely saved us.
This season, he saves us countless times, and it's not just on the pitch as well. Several times he spoke the truth and not just Maguire like, which is robotic. He said after the Liverpool game, "I'm hurt," instead of an apology on social media. He said we play like kids. He said we can't do nothing, and it's the truth. It's not exactly what we want to hear or even need to hear, but it's what needs to be said. it is exactly what needs to be said, the truth, rather than just a robotic sort of, it wasn't good enough from the lads today, blah, 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 just chatting just rubbish in the interviews. Now, going forward, do you think there's an instant fix for this? Do you think we'll be better against Villa, or do you think we're going to be basically the same, more of the same?
Could you repeat that?
Do you think we're going to be better against Villa, or do you think it's going to be more of the same going forward?
More of the same. I mean, what's going to change? That's what I'm going to wonder. Unless he changes the squad completely, not a chance. I think it's going to be a tough game for us against Villa.
Yeah, I agree.
We definitely need to bring in some people now ASAP and get the business rolling. Simple. So
I agree.
That's
I agree
my
with that.
opinion on it.
I agree with that. I do want to say thank you to you, RJ, for coming on, and check out Robotic Jaguar on YouTube. I think, is it Robotic Jaguar on Twitter as well?
Yeah, Robot Jaguar on all social medias, mate. Thank you so much for having me on as well.
No problem. No problem. I'm gonna sort of remove you from the stream because I'm gonna also tell the chat something as well. If that's okay. Before I end the stream. Massive thank you for coming on. I appreciate that a lot.
Thanks for having me on.
See you later.
No problem. Thank you. See you, mate.
Yeah. All right. That's the Premier League game week review done then, guys. I just want to tell you some things. So you may see titles and other things change within the next few hours, within the next few days. A lot of things have changed in terms of titles. Playlists have been created, things like that. There's a lot of things being done, sort of, I would say behind the scenes, but it's only me doing it. Well, there's another person helping me as well. So the thumbnail for the Fabrizio Romano video is being made today. Well, it's being started today. It's been started this morning. So that's being done. There will be some thumbnails changing with the chilled vibe / Q&A videos, video / live streams that'll be changed within the next ASAP, basically, as soon as possible. I will also try and get a green screen edit done, just like I did with the Christmas one. I will also try that, but that will not be anytime soon. I cannot say this will be within the next week or so. It won't be within the next week. The next week will be quite a quiet week in terms of streams. Maybe I'm not streaming the Fabrizio Romano video. It will be a pre-recorded video. Maybe I'll do a chilled vibe video. Maybe I won't. I'm possibly doing another video with another person that knows a little bit about transfers, but I'm not sure yet. But again, I just want to let you guys know. I put it in the sort of community post. But if titles are changing, you're seeing this title change within the next few hours, it will be because I'm reorganizing the channel for my peace of mind as well as everyone else. So it's easier to access. So things are easier to sort of come by and drop in and watch one video and think this isn't an absolute mess. I understand that I've made it an absolute mess with unorganization, or whatever the word is. I am trying to sort of reorganize everything. There's a lot of moving parts, so I appreciate a lot of you guys bearing with me. I will tweet out as well when the reorganization's done. It will probably be tonight or tomorrow, probably. I can't say the exact time, but just keep an eye out on my Twitter, which is in the description below. And I think I'm not sure if the link's right though currently. Again, keep an eye. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll see you the next stream. I'm not sure exactly when it will be, but the next video will be the Fabrizio Romano video. So the next video will be next Thursday. I'll see you guys then on the 13th of January in 9 days, because there's no Premier League currently. I'll see you guys then. Peace out and take